Almost every NBA team is around the 20-game mark, and at this point of the season, some teams tend to do a little early self-evaluation. Like always, there have been some surprises so far and also some disappointments. But it's way too early to truly determine if a team needs to make a move or not, at least for some teams. But December 15 is just around the corner, and that's the date when the most recently signed free agents will become eligible to be traded. And that makes it so much easier for teams to facilitate a trade. Just because it might be too early to pull the trigger on a deal, doesn't mean the team will not start calling around to see who's available. I will discuss my top players that could be wearing another uniform by the February 10th trade deadline. This video is brought to you by Shoe Fresh. Shoe Fresh is a company that prides itself on eliminating smelly sneakers. You apply it once and it will last at least 3 months. It's fragrance free and it completely eliminates the bad smell. Every bottle contains enough spray to treat at least 12 pairs of sneakers. So for the price of 1 bottle of Shoe Fresh, you can keep your shoe collection fresh for an entire year. If you want to give this product a try, click the link in the description, and if you leave a review on Amazon, you will have a chance to win a $200 Nike gift card. Nobody likes smelly sneakers. Eliminate that problem today. Thanksgiving has just passed, and Ben Simmons is still a member of the Philadelphia 76ers. Nobody could have imagined that he would still be on this team at this point, but here we are. Daryl Morey and the 76ers are not budging. They want an all-star back in return, and they say they will wait years to get one done. I don't believe they mean that literally, but it just goes to show you that this team will not rush to get a deal done. I really believe that Morey is willing to hold out for an all-star caliber player, even if they have to settle for a player like John Wall. Ben Simmons has come up with his mental health as an excuse not to be part of this team. Everybody knows that he wants to continue getting his money while staying away from this team. I don't believe there's a scenario where we actually see Simmons in a 76ers uniform. That bridge has already been burnt between him and his teammates. I do believe there's a good chance that this will be resolved by the trade deadline, when a lot of teams will know what they have and what they don't have. Until then, the saga continues. Next on my list is Pistons forward Jerami Grant. I believe he could be that all-star caliber player that the 76ers could settle for in a Ben Simmons trade. There have been multiple sources that the 76ers have had discussions with the Pistons that involve Jerami Grant. Now the Sixers will obviously want a better offer than Grant for Simmons, but realistically, that's probably the best they will be able to get. The Detroit Pistons have been the team that most experts expected at this point, a team that will have a lot of growing pains and suffer a lot of losses. They have some good pieces on this team, but they are nowhere near ready to actually compete for a playoff spot. Now you could argue that a player like Jerami Grant is the veteran player they need to stabilize this team. A player who can help the young players and carry the team on his shoulders and keep the team progressing in the right direction. You don't want this team to end up like the Houston Rockets, where a lot of losses can demoralize the team and develop bad habits. I do believe a lot of playoff teams will be asking around for Jerami Grant around the trade deadline, and the Pistons could wait it out all the way to the 11th hour of the trade deadline and get a good offer for Jerami Grant. The next guy is Jaylen Brown. I know a lot of Celtics fans don't want to hear this, but it may be time to break up the two young stars. Obviously, Jason Tatum is nearly untouchable and is the better player and better talent. So Jaylen Brown is the guy that the team should be shopping. I know that the organization has kind of reassured Jaylen that they were not shopping him. Whether that's true or not, I believe it would be foolish for the Celtics not to explore the possibilities of a Jaylen Brown trade. The Celtics are clearly not in the same class as the Milwaukee Bucks or the Brooklyn Nets, and the only way they can upgrade their big man position is trading Jaylen Brown. That's the harsh reality that the Celtics face, but it is what it is. This team is on track to make the bottom half of the playoffs and are more than likely to be a first-round exit once again. The Minnesota Timberwolves have been solid so far this season and are currently in 10th place in the Western Conference. And the only teams that have separated themselves from the pack are the Phoenix Suns and the Golden State Warriors. So it's possible for the Timberwolves to improve and get a better position as the season goes along. but it's more than likely that this team could end up reverting back to their old ways and being a disappointment. And if this team finds itself at the bottom of the Western Conference by the trade deadline, I believe a Karl Anthony Towns trade should be explored. The more the losses pile up, the more frustrated he will get. Towns has been accustomed to losing nearly his entire career, except when Jimmy Butler was on the team. Anthony Edwards is the future of this team, and it might be smart for the organization to trade away players like Towns and D'Angelo Russell and start all over. The salary is too high on this team for them not to make the playoffs on a consistent basis. And for this last one, I'm going to say the Sacramento Kings, because it's about 2 or 3 players you could pick to be traded by the trade deadline. This team did the right thing by moving on from their head coach Luke Walton, but that's probably not the only move they need to make for this team to end their 15-year playoff drought. They were 6-11 at the time of firing the head coach, and they currently sit in the 11th spot in the Western Conference. Players like Harrison Barnes, Buddy Hield, and Marvin Bagley are at the top of the list of players that the Kings should trade. De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton seem to be untouchable at the moment, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Kings decide to trade one of them at this point. This team should be very active around the trade deadline and bring in some players capable of getting stops on the defensive end. They did get an impressive win against the Lakers in triple overtime the other night, and that could be signs of things to come for this team. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, do it right now for future NBA content.